Okay, so anytime I want to write like a chord progression or a film, things like that, those are my general problem solving situations where I apply this rule. I usually go with my third or fourth guess as to what I think it should be. For example, um, if I play this, we know what's coming next. Like, we both know what's coming next because that's what I think is like the fabric of consciousness, which is like, we all know it's gonna go like, I don't gotta play it again, but you get me. It's like, that's what we think is gonna happen next. So that's like the first guess to things. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go with the first guess. Something like the boring stuff can be done really good, and when it's done really, 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 really good, it's classic. And I love that. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that like simple stuff is bad, but there's a lot of simple stuff, like a lot more than we think. And so to surprise folks or to like make things a little bit more creative, I go down the route of going like the third or fourth guess because in my personal experience it opens up doors to who I truly am, and it's only going to come either from your memory bank or from your ability to create new situations, like new things, which also has to do with your memory bank. um, so I usually do that because it catches people off guard or it just makes it creative and new. And the more I do so in practicing, thus I realize more and more who I am, how I think, where I come from, and who I'm intended to, what I'm intended to be. Not to say that it's not intentionally gonna still be authentic. Everything I do, everything I intentionally try to be authentic. But I'm saying one of the ways that I got to there, uh, or at least I'm trying to get there, is through going through the fourth or the third, sometimes the second guess. Eventually, these will become the first guess or the second guess because the more you implement it, the more you know who you are, the more it flows, the more it naturally just happens. And you can see it and it play out in different ways. Like, for example, if you ever had a friend or if you ever wanted to make a video, or if you were on camera, you act a certain way. You act different than what you actually do. You talk certain ways. You want to do certain things a certain way, the way that others do it, the way that we think it's supposed to be done, the way that we see. You know what I mean? So just like when I'm writing a song or when I'm making whatever, I have to know that I'm perceiving you perceiving me. So I have to know that I'm making up this character of who is watching me. I'm making it up. I don't know who you are, but I'm making it up and I'm responding accordingly to that. That's not what you should do, muchachos and muchachas and muchachistas. That's not what you should do, because it looks so weird and inorganic, and it becomes, it's like, how do I put it? The way Disney reacts to things, the way that we all know that you know that that thing that like things like that we will actually start to integrate in our own decision making day by day conversations and interactions. Um, Start to realize that most people are acting like that first guess is what I'm saying. It becomes your first guess. So that's why it's a problem. Why I want to integrate the third or fourth is because um, I think we all have the first guess alike. We all have the same alike first guess because most of us were exposed to some of the same things, and therefore you get 51%, or at least the majority of a percentage of 100, to agree on the first. What comes after what comes next. Like if you're making a dialogue and you're trying to guess what the next person says, sometimes it's predictable, and most people are on the predictable path. Like small talk is very predictable. Um, Current affairs, things like that. Um, the problem is why this needs to be implemented is because there is a lack of thinking before doing, or thinking before speaking, or thinking really in general. I feel like problem solving can be easier than we think, and The thing is, most of the problems are being solved for us, so we're not really thinking much anymore. Like, for example, inventions solve problems like a hammer or a dishwasher or a TV or whatever. Like, you can either get modern or prehistoric, you know. But the effective measurement of an invention is how well it solves the problem. And so we have a lot of inventions around us. We have a lot of things solving problems for us. We just kick back, and sometimes we don't know how to solve problems. And then that becomes a problem because we don't know who we are afterwards. This is the trap that we fall into as a society in today's day of age, because I'm talking about, you know, these days of age, as it's always been and how it will be if we don't do anything. It's like we don't really know who we are anymore because we're not solving problems originally anymore, because things are solving problems for us. And so we're also being sold the idea of being individual. There's big corporations that are like, be yourself, be yourself. This is what it's going to look like when you're yourself. You're going to look like this when you're yourself. If you're alternative, you're going to look like that. If you're this, you look like that. And they were trying to push so hard on that and selling you your identity, to where that identity would also connect to the same identity they produced on some sort of media, music, film, art, you know, what's on your Instagram. Your identity character will associate with that identity character, so you will start being more like them in what they say on TV, acting the same way. So that's what's going on, basically, because problem solving. I know it's a crazy root, but it's a root in a vicious tree. And I think, you know, the more we connect back to ourselves, because like the way that we thought this, the way we knew it was gonna go, the way we knew that, I think we're already wired with a likeness. We are all very alike. Like, we're very alike. We're all very, very alike. We have the same spectrum of emotions. Some of us, we don't have the same spectrum of emotions, but most of us have the same emotions. Like, so there's not really much different that separates us other than what we can see with the eye, and we already know we can only perceive 0.00035% of the electromagnetic spectrum, so that's nothing. But anyways, the problem with it is that it starts to become confusing as to who you are. But I think if we follow our natural rhythms and tunes, we will find who we are, thus making us closer together as a species, but also not falling for the trickery of the machine. I'm not talking about the machine that folds your clothes or washes your clothes. I'm talking about the machine that's selling you the idea to be yourself. There are all these sorts of characters and avatars that you can adapt, and it's a strange thing. And I know it's a simple thing, but my mom told me to always think before I speak. I don't really do that much, but when I do, I end up finding my words a little bit better. I'm not rushing to any sort of conclusion. I'm really just waiting for it to fall into place, as things do fall in place. Like, magically, the sun's going to come back where it came from. It just falls into place. Everything falls into place. So just trust the process and solve more problems in your life. You become more original. You find out who you are. You become a valuable thing in the world, which is a problem solver. And a lot of people aren't solving problems. There's a lot of ideas and a lot of problems to solve in our own lives and in the world. For me, I'm talking about music too, and art and film. It's just a way to be a little bit more creative, more original, and it's a simple thing, you know, that can be very deep. But yeah, thank you.